some Percocets, muscle relaxers. Percocets is a drug that's commonly abused, so your pharmaceutical score goes down because of the likelihood of you abusing a drug that's known to be abused. And now they're going to look for the predictability of the consumer. What is the odds of a person using Percocets in association relaxers to, in the event Percocet, they should become addicted to it? How do they go about paying off their debts? So out of X amount of people, out of every 10, every 100 people that are prescribed Percocets, how many of them get addicted? And what is the connection between debt? So once you get prescribed certain drugs, it automatically lowers your score as they look to determine the predictability of the consumer. And so if you're a serial return artist, you return your clothes quite often. What is the connection between people with the mentality that buy clothes and return them in association to the debt they accumulate and how they're able to respond to that debt? And now what they'll do is say, okay, this person has been given volume or Percocets for whatever reason. This person is a serial return artist who loves to look at sneakers and clothes for hours at a time. And they aggregate that data and come to the conclusion that your ass can't be trusted with $10. You see what I'm saying? So these are scores that you don't know about. And the bank has scores about you that they don't tell you about, that they pass over or they solicit to other entities. So they can deny you of getting the largest amount of money that you should get. And we have the right to say, I don't want that data being used against me. I don't want my bank account data being used against me. I don't want the amount of money I have in my bank account at the end of the month being used against me versus the amount of income I got. Income to expense ratio. You have the right to say, don't count that. And when you do that, the amount of money you can get approved goes higher. So my job as your mentor, when you hire me for $2,000, is to really put you in position to get the highest amount of money in every one of the opportunities we dig through, because we have 18 opportunities for you to get money that you don't have to pay back. And I have the professionals that's credentialed, because I'm a 9th grade dropout. So I have the professionals that's credentialed, okay, that's going to go out their way and work on your behalf, because once you pay your $2,000, you got all of them for free. You have to pay back. It's an oxymoron. There's a whole bunch of money out there in the form of grants, tax credits, forgiveness loans. There's money out there you don't have to pay back. You just got to find out what demographic you belong to and what points are you missing from meeting the criteria to be part of the demographic that it applies to. If you're a single mother, 30 years and older, there's loans for you. If you're a mother with more than one child and your income is less than $40,000 or less than $50,000, there's money that is due you. If you've been impacted negatively based on the virus and had to take time off of work or was laid off, there's money that's due you. If you're a black man, African American male, with 1 year of college schooling, there's money that applies to you. If you have a business that's been open for 2 years, at least, there's money that is due you, over 50 grand. If you have a company with more than 5 employees that are W-2 employees, not 1099 employees, there's money for you. But there's a 70-20 application that if you have a company, right? If you're self-employed, right? And you have your 1099, then it's 15 plus grand due you if you driving Uber or driving Lyft. So my responsibility as your mentor, when you pay me $2,000, is I have about 18 things that most people can qualify for, or they just need us to add or subtract certain things to their profile. We got to remove this item off your report, add this positive item to your report. My job is to see how many of the 18 different money opportunities that are available that you don't have to pay back, get that money to you. That's my job. That's what I commission myself to do. Most of you cannot afford what it takes to get to that point, because then now you have to have a CPA involved. You have to have a loan officer involved to help push these things through. Some of you have tax issues. So I take the people that's part of my team and I have them do these things for you for free, technically. Because you say, if I pay $2,000, how's it free? Because these people get paid to help facilitate on your behalf, whether they're accountancy or loan officers or what have you. When you get money that you don't have to pay back, I then say, give me 10% on the back end. When I get that 10%, then I pay the CPAs or the loan officers or whoever helped you with your tax issues or whatever it is we needed to do to get you on the level, because you have a bankruptcy, because you have student loans that's over $50,000, because you've been evicted, because you have no credit history whatsoever, because you have a 750 credit score, but you still don't have no credit history that helps one make a determination about the predictability of you as a consumer. Okay? So these are things, or you might not have 3 revolving accounts and 1 installment that makes you meet the criteria of being what's called bankable, because you guys only want to use Western Union and MoneyGram and stay on the ground and off the radar. So my job is to get you on the radar properly, where you don't have to compromise your integrity as a human being, but at the same breath can function in society and reap the benefits, because credit is a class system. It's the new age class system where the haves and have-nots exist. The 600 people don't get treated like the 700s. The 700s don't get treated like the 800s. Credit is the new class system. You get treated different based on where you are. But what you don't know is there's over 30 different credit bureaus and financial institutions that have a say on your opportunities to get monies you don't have to pay back, or to get loans that are sizable as opposed to the minuscule amounts that they've been giving to people. And that's why even when you say, I got good credit, most people don't know what good credit means, because they only can think within a framework of TransUnion, Experian, Equifax, and FICO. They don't know about the CDAs, the consumer data aggregates. They don't take them.
Nobody has good credit until they pay POLIGHT $2,000. When you pay $2,000, that's when the first time in your life you're gonna have good credit. Like, I mean, listen, it's not all about credit, because you do need to, well, it depends what you're looking to get. Of course, if you're trying to apply for a house that's $1 million, don't matter what your credit is. If your income don't reflect, you can make payments, or at that point, your income, household income, personal income, if you're married, that matters now. Whether you get the house. Just because your credit is perfect and all this bullshit he's talking doesn't mean you're approved for anything you want. You can't just go buy a damn Bugatti. So at some point, you're going to need to verify your income, and that's going to be, depending upon what you want, you're going to need the necessary assets and capital to back you. It's a joint effort. Sometimes you got the money and capital, but don't have the credit. It's both. You're going to need both. You're going to need great credit and great income to pretty much get whatever you want. So because this dude is desperate for $2,000, he's going to run off on you and try to pay his legal fees to, so his he could plea out to something better than what they're offering right now. So obviously they're probably offering this dude something crazy, like 12 years, something like that. They probably giving him, and he want to get it down to like 3. It's going to take more money for a better lawyer. I don't know what it's going to take, but that's what it's looking like. But you ain't going to get this dream shit. Yo, what's worse? somebody telling you the pie in the sky, oh, don't worry. Nah, you could pick cotton. You'll be, after you die picking cotton, you'll be in the heavens eating milk, drinking milk and honey and eating fish, whiting.
Into consideration, LexisNexis, LEXIS.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is terrible, but guess what? I don't know who else reported him, but I do know somebody who reported. They showed me the receipt from the people who do the investigating, right? So this guy has been reported. So I hope like hell they investigate him. Okay, did I say hope like hell lock him up? No, because I don't, it's up to them to decide whether he's guilty or innocent. But I do hope like hell they investigate this dude. Okay, and then if they say nothing, then it's all good what he's doing. But it's still bullshit. But I highly doubt that's gonna be the outcome from this dude.
LexisNexis, NEXIS, and Check System, CHEX. These entities report about any business you ever conducted when it comes to accounts, credit cards account, bank accounts, anytime you did anything. This is why we tell you, be careful closing accounts, because you can always use it for the history. Oh, I paid this off, I don't want to use it no more. Well, keep it there. Okay? So your bank has a credit scoring system you're not familiar with. DMV has a credit scoring system you're not familiar with. Social media has a credit scoring system you're not familiar with. Social media has a credit score system you're not familiar with? Yeah. Because consumer data aggregates, they aggregate this data, which means I want to know what the likelihood of a person who only looks for Michael Jordan sneakers is in association to people who can't pay their debt off. How much hours do people spend on sneakers, browsing for sneakers and clothes that don't give them a return on their investment? What is the likelihood of giving them X amount of dollars before they can't pay it back? So you get a social media score. You also got a traffic score. You got a pharmaceutical score. Because if you just got your boobs done and they give you some Percocets,
so
muscle relaxers.
I've been giving commentary,
Percocets is a drug that's...
They say, you got the freedom to speak over different videos. I've been doing that. So, but I think that's up to, when you read the channel settings, like certain people can still say, it's funny, like the whole reviewing videos. It's kind of funny how it's done. But there's two channels that stand out that I think could have reported me saying I'm stealing content. It's Math Hoffa is one, and there's one more. And I don't know which one, but I favor it's Math Hoffa channel.
Commonly abused. So your pharmaceutical score goes down because of the likelihood of you abusing a drug that's known to be abused. And now they're going to look for the predictability of the consumer. What is the odds of a person using Percocets in association to, in the event they should become addicted to it?
Yeah, but the channel will be up.
How do they go about paying off their debts?
Tuesday, my original channel.
So out of X amount of people, out of every 10, every 100 people that are prescribed Percocets, how many of them get addicted? And what is the connection between debt? So once you get prescribed certain drugs, it automatically lowers your score as they look to determine the predictability of the consumer.
Let me get some of these.
And so if you're a serial return artist, you return your clothes quite often. What is the connection between people with the mentality that buy clothes and return them in association to the debt they accumulate and how they're able to respond to that debt? And now what they'll do is say, okay, this person has been given volume or Percocets for whatever reason. This person is a serial return artist.
Yeah, I think that'd be happening.
Who loves to look at sneakers and clothes for hours at a time. And they aggregate that data and come to the conclusion that your ass can't be trusted with $10.
then I
You
played
see
that
what I'm
Master
saying?
P thing yesterday.
So these are scores that you don't know
Actually,
about.
it got shut
And the
down as
bank
I was playing the
has
Master
scores
P.
about you that they
Now
don't
I
tell
think
you
about it,
about,
as I was
that
playing
they
Master P
pass
yesterday,
over
it
or
could have
they
been that
solicit
channel.
to other entities.
And I was definitely letting
So
that
they can
play.
deny you of getting the largest amount of money that you should get. And we have the right to say, I don't want that data being used against me. I don't want my bank account data being used against me. I don't want the amount of money I have in my bank account at the end of the month being used against me versus the amount of income I got. Income to expense ratio.
This dude is
You have the right to say,
liar,
don't
bro.
count that. And when you do that, the amount of money you can get approved goes higher. So my job as your mentor, when you hire me for $2,000,
but he has
is to really
reported.
put you in position to get the highest amount of money in every one of the opportunities we dig through, because we have 18 opportunities for you to get money that you don't have to pay back. And I have the professionals that's credentialed, because I'm a ninth grade dropout. So I have the professionals that's credentialed, okay, that's going to go out their way and work on your behalf, because once you pay your $2,000, you got all of them for free.
Yeah, sure.
Because they know you're going to get,
they know,
not only money, but significant sums of money through the program. So we take 10% of anything you don't have to pay back. So you get $200,000, we ask for $20,000. You get $26,000 employee retention credit, where you get $26,000 per each employee. I hope you're making your children and your friends employees. You probably got 50 names and numbers in your phone. Why are you not translating your network of people into your clients or your employees? It makes no sense to me. Well, when you work with me, I'll show you how to do this, son. Okay? You go to brotherpolite45@gmail.com. You leave your full name and your phone number whenever you're ready to purchase the $2,000 service to give you at least $500,000 in equity. And I hate saying that because the numbers is so big to people, they believe they don't have the right to get that access.
Yeah,
but I'm actually projecting lower numbers.
Somebody showed me that.
Because if you have unlimited credit cards, then if you got 2 of those, what dollar amount are we talking about? I get you one of these black cards I got, then what dollar amount are we talking about? Okay? This is Rolls Royce Diaries, by the way.
Sure it is.
Rolls Royce Diaries. So the goal is make sure you share the video. And again, I know people at times rather me gossip, talk about what's going on with Kanye and Kyrie Irving and all this other stuff, but don't let 2023 catch you off guard with all the layoffs, the price of living, food inflation, getting a smaller quantity of food for a higher price, hyperinflation. Don't get caught off guard. Don't be sandbagged by 2023. If you see the 500 companies, the Fortune 500, if you see those companies laying people off at record numbers in the thousands, you must understand you're going to be the people that's going to be impacted the most severely by this transition that's taking place. And AI technology is getting more and more sophisticated. That means they're ushering in new technology and usurping that technology for human beings. More and more human beings have less value. This is the most ideal time. This is the most ideal time for you to become an entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur.
Yeah, well, you're a serial scammer. 28. You're a serial scammer, my boy.
Social media. So if you're a black entrepreneur, black business owner, I show you exactly how to scale your coaching, consultant, course, a service-based.
Where about?
Let's prepare you for the 20.
Here.
You know, and I'm not saying that to say that you looking to be mean to me. I'm saying come up with it, because there used to be 3K. Now I'm in a space where we very rarely getting anything, because the $2,000, remember this. First of all, you're getting,
Where's LJ?
for the $2,000, you're getting $500,000 in equity and credit cards. Second of all, for the $2,000, you're getting anywhere between $50,000 to $300,000 that you do not have to pay back.
Sure.
Third of all, you're getting a caseworker that's going to deal with your credit exclusively and immediately.
Sure.
Not someone that's going to pick up your phone every time and talk to you about the psychology behind why you're nervous about investing. No.
Psychologist, really.
He's going to deal with your
So
credit
you get
exclusively and immediately.
a psychologist.
Then you're also going to have me as your mentor, where I'll be preparing you for the money's coming, so you don't have this large sum of money and equity by way of credit cards. And people don't say credit card equity, but that's what I teach.
You got all
Equity
these
by way
experts
of
to
credit
work with him, but he's going to be the
and loan money that by the time you combine them,
he's going to be the one to
you don't have
mentor
pay
you,
back, or grants,
not the expert.
whatever combination we do of tax credits. By the time we
Now-
put together your grants, tax credits,
Now, he just says he's a high school not dropout with no credentials, and he's going to have experts working with you. But then he's going to mentor you. So why would I let a ninth grade dropout mentor me about money? Oh, because you're supposed to be a millionaire. Like, come on. So you got to believe that he's a millionaire in order to buy into he can mentor you.
loans you don't have to pay back, and your credit card equity, you will have 7 figures available to you. But we don't want you to have 7 figures available to you and no means to understand how to invest the money thereafter.
That's $2,000 and you could be a millionaire.
Okay? That's what we talking about. That's what we talking about. That's what we need to get done. That's how we got to do this. Okay? I see the bots go out their way every time. So what you guys could do, if you've ever been in any of my courses, press 9 if you made money from my services. Press 9 in the chat if you're anybody that invested in any of my courses and you made money. Just press 9. I'm gonna just show you how this thing really works, so you can see that people, the way these agents work, just like the brother who said, make sure I bulletproof my car. I understand it. Thank you. There go the 9s. Let me use this phone to see the 9s over here. Look at this. I'm gonna show you Facebook people the 9s. Then I'm gonna show the Instagram people the 9s. Okay, now let me show Instagram people the 9s. Look at that. Look at the 9s. Hold on. See the 9s? So I'm showing both sides of the coin. I got Instagram and Facebook up. Just like that. The 9s are coming in. Look at this. More 9s. So that's how I kill the noise. That's how I kill it. Press 9 if you've been making money. Let me show the IG people the the 9s as well. The 3x3s. Let's look at it.
Now, all of this is to convince you that
Okay.
if you pay him $2,000,
Okay.
you'll be an instant millionaire.
Okay.
You just
Thank
said
you.
you could potentially have
9
access
to
to
the
$1
power
million.
9. Okay. Okay.
Sure.
Oh, let me get you guys in tune again. Hold on. Let me show Facebook the 9s here on IG again. Okay. Look at all the 9s, Facebook. I just stopped just for a word from our sponsors. Okay? That's what I do to kill. That's what I do to kill the noise. So you know it ain't staged. So as much as you can see 9s, you don't see no fucking complaints that can add up to my 9s. That's what I want you to realize. So you gotta ask yourself, who are these people? Because why is it that people can benefit? I just showed you 2 different streams with nines going up and down, up and down, up and down. So if I have the capabilities to empower people and have them make money, why wouldn't I do it for everybody if I already know how to do it? It's common fucking sense. That's why I'm telling you this shit gets annoying, because they make a bunch of fake pages. Then they get people upset with me that I'm scamming them. And I'm like, that's not even me. They made like, I can't even talk about broccoli and carrots without them taking down my page and breaking down how it's a hybrid and carrot toxin in it and all this other stuff. They'll take my page down. Niggas look at anything. They said, still a hood nigga, the foreign running on E. My shit is not on E. I have 50 miles left. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. I think I will make it to the gas station just right across the street. I think I will. You know what I'm saying? Like, god damn. My shit got to stay right on full for me to do a stream. I got to make sure, let me make sure everything's straight for these people that I say look for the fucking nines, not for what's in my gas tank. God damn. I think I could afford the gas if I'm in a $400,000 car. I think I can.
I think not.
Okay?
I think not, because I
think I can.
It
might be.
Most millionaires, that's official millionaires, they're not going to keep trying to prove themselves over and keep mentioning the money. And only you do that, my man. And you don't know that because you're not a real millionaire. If you were a real millionaire who got a $400,000 car because of his own income, you wouldn't be sitting here trying to prove you're a millionaire.
Possible. It's Rolls Royce Diaries. I think I can afford the gas, man. I think I'll make it across the street. But I'm showing you this is why we have a problem succeeding. Because while you're busting your behind, going out your way to teach your people what's real, it really hurts people. I can tell you this. I went out my way to try to request people that talk crazy in the chat, only to find out they're bots. So who's creating the bots that are making all the fake pages, robbing the people? Who's creating the bots that are making comments just to go against me?
Go against them. Why do you care,
and if you think
man?
they don't make bots against people that have a high level.
And keep in mind, this is a guy who's supposed to be the underdog in all debates, meaning that he's a non-religious person. So the religious people are supposed to be like chanting and criticizing him and calling him names. Shouldn't he be used to this? The doubt?
Influence of people like myself, they get millions of views. Just look up CPAC and George Soros. You can pay for bots to specialize in being detractors or going against what anyone says. You could pay for bots to just make complaints and put them in a chat to influence or sway people's judgment. Look up CPAC, George Soros. So when I turn around,
then all this stuff got to be directed to him. He's the same guy. If you remember, a long, long time ago, he used to act like these helicopters was following him. Every time I go live, there's a helicopter. He swore his information was so powerful and uplifting and empowering that he thought the helicopters were sent by George Soros, somebody, to keep a tab on him. He's the same guy. This guy is paranoid because he's doing something illegal and he knows it's a matter of time. Just like Goodfellas. The mafia guy kept looking in the sky, looking at helicopters, driving, looking at them. He was paranoid, and eventually those helicopters were sent for him.
and I go, press 9 if you haven't made money with me. And then you see all the 9s coming up, and they overpower the BS. Then you got to say, now, because now, if the question.
So those 9s can't be bots, though? So if anybody can pay for these bots to go either way, support you or go against you, couldn't those 9s be bots, though, my boy? Since we gonna go that direction.
Is, hey, I seen people in the chat say something bad. Now, why is it the question, damn, I seen a whole bunch of people say they made money. Or do you just want an excuse to be afraid to not invest in yourself? Because if it was, damn, but people are saying something bad, now what happens when you see all the good in 2 different platforms that I'm streaming simultaneously? Because all I gotta do is say, press 9 if you made money off of me. Press 9 if you benefited from what I'm teaching in my courses, in my credit. If your score shot up 200 damn points, 150 points. You go to brotherpolite45@gmail.com. You leave your full name and your phone number when you're ready to change your life. But I'm telling you, this is a stressful business. Not because of the people you have to deal with per se, but the attack you have to get when you're uplifting your own people. But if you want to be prepared for this next year coming, don't wait for next year. If you want to be a person that can do better for your family, do better for your children, do better for yourself, because you're no good to no one if you're no good to yourself. My watch costs more than this car. Just to respond to somebody. But I don't think they was trying to antagonize me. It's just a fact. So what I'm saying is, my shades are black owned. So you can talk crazy if you want. My shades is black owned. Fenty, Rihanna. $800. My fedora, my hat, my headdress is $700. Made by a black man's company. Keith and James. Black designers I'm wearing. $700 hat, $800 glasses, $1,500 between the two. So don't tell me I don't patronize black people with my money. See, this is, you catch people and they won't even say sorry, because somebody in the chat just said, you know, he spent all that money on European brands, that's why we ain't going nowhere. No, we're not failing because of the clothes we buy. We're failing because we don't know how to invest and grow our money. We're failing because we work for people. So if you're working for somebody, and I work for myself, you're making the white man money every day that you go to work. I make him money sometimes when I buy a white tee. You're actually making him the bulk of the money because you work for him almost every day. And you're trying to do overtime at it for the holidays. You're putting more money into the white community than I am. I just spend with them periodically. You make them money every damn day. And then you still spend with them periodically or excessively. See how that works? You see how the logic works? And then as you say what you say, I just happen to have $800 shades on made by a black woman. And a $700 hat made by a black man's brand. So you're wrong. You should say sorry, bro. That's all I'm saying. People should say sorry. You should say sorry. Because I do deal with black designers, and I happen to spend a lot of money on black designers, but I ain't buying nothing because somebody's just black. I'm buying it because I really like it. And I'm happy to know that they're melanated. Like, do a good job with your artistry, and I'll support. I want to like it, and I got the right to want to like it. I love this stuff. This is a vibe to me. This is me. I put it together. I find this black brand and that black brand. I put it together, and I establish my look and how I feel. I think this looks fire. I think this look right here is a vibe. You heard? But that's me. But I buy what I like. I don't buy it because it's white folks or black folks. I buy what I like, but I have a more of an incentive to buy if it is from black people, because that's exciting to me. If I could be in drip, if I could be drip head to toe, and it's black folks, and it's not because of the pressure of them being black, but more rather the artistry is really in tune with my vision for how I want to demonstrate a certain version of myself when I walk outside, how I want to be received, then yeah, this is me. Because I don't like the typical circular or square shades. I don't like that presentation. I'm always unorthodox. The way I think is unorthodox. So I like this type of look because it doesn't look like your typical shades. It look like some shit. It look the way I think. You know what I'm saying? And I like this. It feels like I'm wearing a crown, but then I also feel like I got a halo. Like I'm a light. I'm brilliant. So I wear what I'm wearing, and because of the sacred geometry of it all too. You know what I'm saying? Because the square and the circle is actually equal to each other. Because in mathematics, you're not equal because of how you look. You're equal based on degrees. So a square is 360 degrees, and a circle is 360 degrees. So they're equal. They're fraternal twins. I should say, actually. And then a triangle is equal to a line, mathematically. Because a triangle is 180 degrees, and so is a line. Hence the reason half of a circle. When you put that diameter across it, you get 180. Boom. And you spin that square enough, it looks like a circle. That's a whole nother conversation. But anyway, and one representing the terrestrial and the other representing celestial. It's just different things that I think about, and things that how the subconscious mind grasps the idea. I love it. But anyway, go to brotherpolite45@gmail.com. Leave your full name and your phone number when you're ready to get access to anywhere between 50 grand and 300 grand that you don't have to pay back. Get a caseworker assigned to you that's going to deal with your credit exclusively and immediately. Get $500,000 or in or around in credit equity through credit cards. So you have on one end the credit cards, you do pay them back. Some of them have no late fees. That's amazing. You're going to use the combination between the two to do investing with your credit cards for large sums of money. People think, oh, don't use credit cards, don't use credit cards. If you are given X amount of money and based on how much you use, you have to pay it back, that's a loan. So we have to deal with credit equity and understand how to do credit card investing. You got access to large sums of money, not so. If you get access to $30,000, it's not so you can keep spending $200 to $300 at a time and paying it back. It's so you can level up and invest in your business opportunity or business model for 10, 15 grand and then start paying that off with the other credit cards. It's a whole science. But anyway, on one end, you have the credit cards, you pay some of it back. You have to pay those credit cards back, pardon me. But then you have the loan monies and the grant monies and the tax credits you don't have to pay back. Combination between the two, you should be in 7 figures. You should have $1 million in credit equity. Then you're going to have me as your mentor to coach you through the process to turn that money into wealth for not just this generation, but generations to come. And then you also have the caseworker that's going to deal with you exclusively and immediately for your credit. And then you also have the website where you can track your results. See the deleted items as we remove them, the positive items as we add them, and see the funding when it's processing or it has cleared. Like, this is the level up. This is the level up. To buy your houses through swiping a credit card. To get 200 grand that you don't have to pay back, so you can invest with a clear conscience. To get a mentor, because boxers have trainers and basketball players have coaches, but when it comes to money, we have nothing. And we expect for it to work out. Boxers have trainers. Boxers have trainers. Because we know what happens when you get into that fight and you ain't trained and you fight against someone that is trained. Professional athletes have coaches. The world of sports medicine is on their side. Trainers, their dietary regimen, their work ethic. They're going to be a very talented person who's not a professional. But you guys are not professional money makers, and that's the problem. You're not a professional money maker. That's the problem. The goal is to turn you into a professional money maker. What do you do for a living? It always bothers me when people respond. Because I never hear people say, I make money for a living. If I speak for a living, I could be considered a professional speaker. For my deliberation, an orator. If I write for a living, they got a name for that. They'll call me an author. If I teach for a living, they got a name for that. They'll call me a teacher. If I box for a living, they'll call me a boxer. If I play basketball, they'll call me a basketball player. Shit, if I do evil acts, they'll call me the devil. But when it comes to money, they don't got a name. That's kind of weird. They don't have a profession for people that just make money. Or maybe might be serial entrepreneur, kind of. You know, so that's the goal. I want you to say, we make it complicated. if you put your mind in a state of, I just make money for a living, then you open up the floodgates to make it any way you choose. But if you have your mind on this linear frequency, there's a way I have to make this money, and then you get stuck on that, as opposed to realizing the plethora of advancements that exist for you to make money, instead of having your mind strung out on that cookie cutter approach that the curriculum gives you when you're in the school system. And that's why information is just that, information. It's information. And people that get information, people that get data in a formation, it's hard for them to think outside of that box. You couldn't circumvent.
So this guy has definitely been officially
officially
reported. Somebody sent me the evidence. They got the receipt, text, email receipt. He's been reported to the IRS for these government scams. So let's see what happens.
dissonance.
And maybe he was reported before. Don't know. But this, if it was, this is another one. So I guess they got to be investigating him, because when you get a certain amount of, names thrown at you, saying, "Hey, look at this guy, look at that guy," they tend to do that.
So what I'm giving you, what I'm postulating is that you guys sign up and get your outformation. I don't have no information for you. That's why my shit sounds all spooky.
Yeah,
credit card
he want $2,000 up front.
It's a class system, credit cards. The credit industry is the new form of the class system. That's outformation. Hey, tell them you don't want the credit for paying off your debt. Pay off your debt and tell them to remove it from the record. That's outformation. That's not information. Apply for any job you want. That's what they say.
Now,
that's information.
This is a lie. Right?
Outformation is.
Now, he lied about, it's a complete lie, because he has not read that anywhere. He said every time you apply for a job, your credit is checked, and it's a hard inquiry. He lied about that. Let me explain that. Let me explain that from a person who actually read the book, a book with a qualified individual who used to work for IRS. Okay, I got the book. So that's not how it works. So yes, some employers will run a credit report on you, right? Because according to the stats, it says that people with bad credit are most likely to miss days, call out, and be, just not a good worker, right? Unreliable. And the stats is that people with better credit, or good, average to good credit, tends to work harder and call out less. And what they're saying is that people with bad credit already got bad credit, so they don't mind losing a job over some foolishness and can't pay their bills because they got bad credit. It's not gonna affect them any worse. But people with good to fair credit, they're not going to be in a condition where they can't pay their bills, and now they have bad credit. So they're going to cherish their employment a little more. They're going to fight for a little more. They're not going to hold it for granted, right? So anyway, so an employer might run a background check on you, okay, and run your credit. Now, the way that works is this. There's a period, there's a grace period where you can apply from other jobs, and that you will not get that negative inquiry from another employer. Just that one for, I don't know, 3 months, 6 months, where any employer does inquiry. If anybody does a inquiry on you, it won't come up at all, because only one person is allowed to get that inquiry. And the logic behind that is that you're only looking for one job. You're not looking for two jobs. The same thing goes for a house. You're not looking for necessarily 2-3 houses when you're looking to buy a house. So they run it one time. But he's definitely lying about that.
Time you apply for a job, they're more likely doing a hard inquiry on your credit. So applying for jobs is making your credit score go down. If you fill out 15 job applications, probably 9-10 of them made hard inquiries on your credit because you wasn't prepared to ask them the right questions, or to signify to them the manner in which they need to deal with you, you've impacted your credit severely just by doing your best to get a job. Applying for jobs is lowering your credit score. That's outformation. Because information is get off your ass, stop being lazy, and go out there and apply for as much as jobs as possible. And they don't tell you the rest of the information because they don't know themselves. That's information. I'm giving you outformation. Hey, the guy selling you a car at the dealership, how many cars do they really sell a day? Not much. So how are they making any money? Off of commissions. Commission off of what? Oh, when you ask to get a car, they'll send out 20, 30 different inquiries to lenders about you.
And that part might be
to
true.
See who's willing to put some money up for you. And then after all 20, 30 of those people denied you, the guy at the dealership is getting anywhere between $5 to $15 off.
No. No, I don't believe that. The monetary gain. But I do agree that they start sending your thing everywhere to get approved, and you're getting denied. That might bring your credit up. But them getting $5 off, $10 off, I wouldn't believe this liar. But this is why you should not go to get approved for a car, to get a loan. Get approved for a loan for a car if your credit is suspect and you don't have a nice sizable down payment. Don't do that, because they will shop your name around all type of different banks, and they're gonna run your shit up. Just for you to go home and leave with worse credit than what you came with. But this financial gain, this bullshit he's talking about, see, he always got to cap and do more. He just can't be honest, man. He just can't give you the sound, honest information. Everything got to be capped and spooky and scary.
Then after different inquiries to lenders about you to see who's willing to put some money up for you. And then after all 20, 30 of those people denied you, the guy at the dealership is getting anywhere between $5 to $15 off of each inquiry. So he's going to try to get you 7 inquiries or 15 inquiries or 20 inquiries so he can multiply all the people that he's being nice enough. He's not telling you though, let me do a check and see if we can get you approved as a loan. But he's not telling you he's getting $5 to $15 off of each check when he knows should only check 1 or 2. And in fact, we could do it without him checking those lenders. They could tell you what you need to do before you go there so you can know not even to go there in the first fucking place. So let me run the numbers up. I'm getting $15 off of each check. Let me check 10 different lenders on your behalf without telling you. And I made $150. So if I can do this to 10 people for the day, I can run up at least a $1,500 check for myself in commissions, give a little percentage to my employer, and then I'm good. And now I'm making money without selling cars off of the dealership, without one car driving off. They don't tell you this because that's out formation. It's out of formation. So when I say it, it sounds like a scam. When I say it, how come I know and no one else knows? Or how come no one else told me? It always got to be, how come no one else told you when I tell you? That's what it got to be. Huh? I see we got the bots out of there. It's very weird. When I said put up the 9s, I don't really see people hanging out no more here. I don't see them hanging out in the chat no more. Fuck is y'all at? When I said, who's making money off of me? Yeah, we should have had a civil war. It should have been like a Mel Gibson movie, Amistad or some shit. Should have had the 9s versus the detractors to see who wins. So I really do this, man. But anyway, when you're ready, only when you're ready. You don't have to contact us and tell us, thank you for the 9s again, even though I was even asked for them. They're here. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Forward your full name and your phone number when you are ready to purchase. You don't have to contact us if you're not ready to purchase. Forward your full name and your phone number when you take this thing serious, man, and you need to change your life and you need to prepare yourself for what's about to happen. Thank you for the 9s, man. I appreciate it a whole lot. Thank you. Because good people don't really go out their way to say good things. They just sit there and they catch a vibe and they benefit from the great results, as they should. Negative people go out their way to keep cutting and paste the same thing over and over and over, and that's how we know you're not genuine. Because you're like you're evangelizing the negativity. I'm gonna propagate this until the whole world knows it. I had nothing else to do with my life. But good people just be benefiting, but because they're not saying nothing, y'all really think they don't exist. Now my shit's still filled with 9s. Still 9s on both pages. Still 9s. I just always, the person said, what's 9? I just ask people to press the number 9. 9 is, completion. Ain't no number higher than 9. I just tell people press 9, and it follows the golden mean ratio, the Fibonacci sequence, that spiral, fetal position. Everything goes through that spiral of the universe. Our so-called kinky hair. So I just say press 9 if you benefited from me, if you made monies from me. Paid for my service and you're benefiting and you made money. I ask people to press 9. Happens to be a whole lot of 9s out there. Still 9s. Let me show you guys. Let me show you the Facebook so you guys can see the 9s still. So you see the 9s on Facebook. And okay, now let's get the Facebook people to see the 9s on Instagram. Okay, you see that? Still coming in. The 9s are still coming in. So just want to show you, the other side of the story. That's it. That's how you shut that shit down. Like, I know what I do. I know my benefit. I know my contribution. I know my value to my community. I know I put way more into my community than I ever could take. So when people do that, that shit really pisses me off when people look to undermine who and what I am. Because a lot of people benefit from my teachings and sell their watered down fucking packages and they don't even give me no credit for it. And it's okay not to give me credit, but to not even big me up or show me any love, but to go out there and you guys are stock gurus now and health gurus now and you making money and doing all this stuff, but never once just even give me a call personally, be like, yo, thank you, brother. You don't even got to tell the public. You get it from me. But I know what I teach, so I know me when I hear it. And my students hit me up all the time, send me videos of people saying shit that I done said already, the same exact way I said it.
This right here is one of my 18 audiobooks that I own. It made 82 sales last month on Audible. It's called Learn Spanish for Kids, and I don't even speak Spanish, okay, guys? I paid a guy $150. He recorded the audio, and then I just uploaded the file to Audible. But what's amazing about this is every month I make about 50 to 100 sales, and for each sale I get paid a $6 royalty. And I've been making this for the last 3 years. And I want to show you how I was able to do all of this, because I didn't discover this myself. I was actually taught this about 3 years ago from my now husband Christian, and he's the one that discovered this whole opportunity. And what it is the simple concept of mini audiobooks, all right? So I know nothing about the online space. I don't narrate anything. I don't write anything. He showed me how I can pretty much outsource this to other people, pay them a very small fee, but I'm the one that collects all of these royalties. And that is the beauty of it, is for the work that I did 3 years ago, I'm still collecting paychecks for them. So if this is something that sounds even remotely interesting to you, click the link below. Christian has put together a free training that you can watch, and in just 7 minutes, you'll be able to understand if this is something that might work for you. And I'm going to be honest here, we've had over 1 million people watch this free training, and there is a reason for it. First of all, this is something that is so simple, almost anybody can do. And I really mean that, because when Christian showed it to me, it worked for me, and then I showed the exact same thing to my mom. And my mom, she hasn't been working for the last few years, and she's just been sitting at home. I said, Mom, why don't you try this mini audiobook thing? And then she's doing it now, and how she feels about herself is incredible. Every month she sees these royalties coming in, and she's using that money to pay for little trips with her and my dad, and paying for home renovation projects. So it really is for anybody. She isn't even a perfect English speaker. Like, she's in her 50s, she's Chinese, and it's working for her. So if this sounds remotely interesting to you, if you have a few minutes, click the link below, watch this free training, and it's in just 7 minutes, all right? In 7 minutes, you'll figure out if this is something for you. What has been incredible for me is over the last 3 years, I've been able to live the life that I never thought was possible. I don't have to work a 9 to 5. I'm able to travel and really live that nomadic life because of the royalties that I collect from these mini audiobooks. For work that I did 3 years ago, I'm still getting paid. So if this is interesting, click the link below, watch this free training. There's no strings attached. And the cool thing is if you stay until the end, you'll actually get a few bonuses that will help you do even better with the mini audiobooks. All right, so I'll see you on the inside.
I personally never use mouthwash. Actually, it's funny. People always want to know what's inside my medicine cabinet. And when they sneak a peek, they always admit to it because they just have to know, Dr. G, why is there a bottle of olive oil in your bathroom? Well, truthfully, it's because I believe it's an oral hygiene all-star. Yes, extra virgin olive oil. I recommend all my patients keep a bottle of it in their bathroom. There are so many ways this liquid gold can support mouth health. Let's just focus on one most people don't know. Olive oil can contribute to whiter teeth. So how do you use olive oil to brighten your smile? There are a couple of ways. You can pour some olive oil on a washcloth and rub it on your teeth.
And they be hot, and I'd be like, we taught this information so it could go out. So if they out there propagating the very information I'm propagating, so long as it's the truth, let these people benefit. I ain't calling no names in the name of you're sharing what I gave you, because I gave it to people so it could spread. But it is a bit annoying when all these cats is out here off of the foundation I built. It's not ego, it's real fucking talk. When a man puts down 96 books, I'm sure people slipping and sliding purchasing them because people do know, yo, I am sharp. It's like not in question if I'm actually intelligent. It's not in question. If you listen to me enough times, you know, you know, the multilingual, serial entrepreneur, black revolutionary, prolific author.
I don't know how many book authors who are, I guess, successful in authoring books that won't put them on the most selling platforms, which is Barnes and Nobles, and Google. I'm not Google. Google. My mind. Barnes and Nobles and Amazon. He got nothing on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. Can't take this guy. He's a complete fraud. That's because he knows that plagiarism, copyright, all that stuff is going to be coming at him.
Eloquent speaker. You've seen so many different dynamics of what I do. Stocks, crypto, real estate. They said I have ADHD. I think I just have a short attention span for things. After achieving a certain level of mastery, I'm done with that. Let me do crypto. I'm done with that. Let's do options trading. I'm done with that. Let me do credit restoration. I just go and I crack the code everywhere I go. Get bored, find some new shit to crack the code. Next year I'm doing some other shit. I ain't even doing the credit thing. That's how I am. Next year I'll just do some other shit. It don't matter how good it's going for me. Gold in a crisis, nobody wanted me to stop gold in a crisis. You know how much people made money off of gold in a crisis? When I upload this video on IG, just press 9 into the comment section. if you made your money off of gold in the crisis. You know how much people made money off of gold in the crisis?
Let me expose something else. He makes all his money from these different investment opportunities, right? But then he stops doing them. Like, dude, what investor makes money for something and then stop? Like, real estate doesn't stop. The stock market doesn't stop. You're trading options and you just stop for a season? Like, dude, because it was a scam, man.
They never wanted me to stop. People are begging.
So why would you stop if it's profitable, financial guru?
Comment section. If you made your money off of gold in the crisis. You know how much people made money off of gold in the crisis? They never wanted me to stop. People will beg me every day, can you get back to in the money text and letting us know what stocks is the right direction to go in? Yo, I really do this. Yeah, I'm a Leo. I really do this. Thank you for the 9s. I made a lot of money on gold in the crisis. Thank you, Rock Spiritual. I appreciate that. SRNE. Yup, that's one of those. I'm going to bring it back for 2023. I'm definitely bringing the courses back for 2023. Top of January, we back at it because we're about to go into a recession and we know how to find the gold in the crisis. It's all about timing. So I let that bitch breathe. It's about timing, people. It's all about timing. We wait for that market to get volatile and for shit to go to hell. And that's what we're going to make our
Meanwhile,
most
everybody's
money
making money in the stock market.
for those of us who have lesser resources. We wait till the house is going foreclosure to purchase them. Not when the market is doing good. We wait for the market to do bad. Gush, I got at 30, threw in the sink with polite guidance. Thank you. And I know Gush is lit. And anybody that been walking with me, know what I told you about Gush, know what I told you about SRNE, know what I told you about Hertz. Now look at them, flourish. But anyway, you ready to spend your $2,000? Get access to near $500,000 in equity. Get anywhere between $50,000 and $300,000 inside of 60 to 90 business days. Get you a caseworker dealing with your credit exclusively and immediately. Get me as your mentor to prepare you for the funds coming in so you can grow it into a larger amount. And also I have the website where you can track your results, see the deleted items as they remove, the positive items as they added.
Sure. And you'll pay that man $2,000, never hear back from him again. Like so many people have said he has done today. Stop it. Because it sounds just too, I mean, if this is the epitome of sounds too good to be true.
And you're funding to see if it cleared or it's processing, if it's pending, if it's available. Like who has a system catering to people like that? Leave your full name and your phone number when you're ready. I got a...
The email matters, personal email, not his business email.
Smooth. Hey June, do me a favor. Don't catch your vibes, Rolls Royce Diaries. You know what I'm saying? Seeing is knowing, that's all. Just showing the vibes. Got the Holy Ghost. You know what a wraith is. You know what an apparition is. You know what Phantom is. Shit getting spooky out here. Suicide doors. But you know the tutorial. You hold that button. Right? You go like this. Boom. So, as a matter of fact, I met him through the credit restoration, and we actually became close friends, man. And now we done made that money several times over because I found out how talented he is. Outside of him coming to me to make money, I wound up having to pay him money because he's a dope engineer and amazing singer. So it's wild, man. So he been making money off of music, you know, and it's just been a beautiful thing, man. Look how the universe bless us. So I always like having a bond with my students, man. I'm at Apple a day. Yeah, just give me a ginger shot, coconut water. Don't forget, we got the cauliflower crust pizza inside. I got that, don't forget I got the cauliflower pizza inside. Yeah.
Cauliflower pizza. Now, again, everything's on a premise that he's right. This vegetarian diet If it works for you, cool. But if you are arguing this is the best diet for humans, you're gonna lose that argument. Okay. This is your feeling. You feel like it's the best diet for humans. You feel like it's the best diet for you. Okay. But stay in that feel like lane. Because you see what Chief X did to Polite in that debate. He had Polite lying all around that damn debate when you fact check his information.
Yeah. Just that cauliflower. See this? That bell peppers, onions. I'm not a fan of cauliflower, but I will eat cauliflower crust.
Give me that regular pizza. I'm with that regular type
nutritional yeast.
This is some imitation.
Not nutritional yeast, pardon me.
Just can't hang.
Sea moss.
Like those turkey sauces.
In a place of yeast.
Veggie sauce
to make the dough rise. Like that's that shit I be on. I be out here coaching people on how to
I ate them because
make my food, man.
Once I could eat when I was doing that.
Rolls Royce diaries.
There are some things that veggies just horrible imitation of meat product. And I can't imagine that cauliflower pizza tasting better.
Yeah, but you see how people come together just for their soccer? We need to come together when we make this money off the credit restoration. We need to put our money to the side. I'm about to start that program for next year too. Everybody that gets over $100,000 in the program, put 10 grand to the side and let's pool the funds together as a community. And let's buy one of these lots, man, together. Let's buy one of these lots together, man. Come on, 10 of us.
Jack funny self. The nines are
you like that shit, huh?
All the folks that can't afford it now and don't know the dudes.
I fuck with them, man.
Probably the same. Yeah, but nah, but his name is system. That's a fact. His name is in the IRS system for scamming, using these government loans. Right there. That's a fact. Let's go to your crazy Israelite brothers.
Hours. So Christ literally, they asked Christ, are you going to restore the kingdom to Israel? They asked.
Oh, hold on. Before we do that, it's imperative that I go through this. So now I know when my future debates, well, at least the ones that's on my panel, right? Because their panels, they're going to overtalk me. Every time I went to another person's panel, I was overtalked. I barely said anything. Like I had to answer questions. I could never present my argument. I just got to answer questions, and that's it, and be taught by them. I was never, and I'm like, dude, in a debate, don't we have the same amount? In a debate, don't we have the same amount of time to talk? Like, how are you? And then how do you dictate what I say and what I don't say and what I need to prove and what proof is irrelevant? How do you dictate that in a debate? That's Captain Zariak. After I proved, like his subject title was Joseph isn't the son of it was Jesus isn't the son of Joseph with a question mark. So he was notifying that that's my argument, and the question mark is him challenging that because it's question mark versus Zariak. So when I proved that Joseph was not the father of Jesus, he said that's not good enough. Now I got to prove that Mary is also from the tribe of Judah. I'm just confused. Like, wait, what? So you're not going to argue? Okay, I proved Joseph is not the father of Jesus, and you just let that go, dude. You lost. No, you got to prove. So that's not good enough because now you got to connect all the mysteries in the Bible. You got to connect everything now. It all got to make sense. Really? That's my burden? Okay. Anyway, so we're here. The 5 components of reading comprehension. Okay. So it's not that much here. Reading comprehension, the entire purpose of going through the process of learning to read is so that we can use reading as a way to gather information and learn new things. So you have to know, you have to go through the reading process or the process of learning to read. So you got to learn how to read. It's not just picking up a book and reading your native language. You have to learn how to read so that we can use reading as a way to gather information and learn new things. So in these Hebrew Israelite camps, they're not doing that. They're not reading to learn and gather information. The person coming in to the camp, he's being taught immediately. He's being taught. But then they'll tell you that school is bad because that happens in school. Okay. So anyway, and yet we have two major problems in the way many reading programs are teaching students to learn today. We are faced with one of two of these problems in nearly all reading programs. And your Hebrews like Kent, your Nation of Islam study class is no different. FOY class, no different. Problem one, we are teaching all the fundamental reading skills and assuming students will naturally know how to comprehend the materials once they can read the words. And that's the problem of these facilities I just spoke of. They are teaching, well, they're not teaching anything. They're just indoctrinating people. And then they assume that everybody who they indoctrinate just knows what they have, the doctrine that has been forcing them. Problem two, we are focusing only using background knowledge and prior information, assuming that students will be able to fill in the gaps based on what they know about the world without explicitly teaching fundamental reading skills. Without explicitly teaching fundamental reading skills. Now, that's not happening in camps. They don't care about teaching you. They want you to indoctrinate it. Okay, so what does it look like? First, you want to make sure your reading instruction is systematically targeting foundational reading skills, including phonological awareness, phonics, vocabulary, and reading fluency. Okay, next you want to make sure you are aware of the specific reading comprehension skills your students need. These are several specific skills students must master, but we have what we consider the big 5 reading comprehension. Okay, so it's important to recognize this list isn't exhaustive or all-inclusive, but it's a great place to start. So without further ado, let's jump into the big 5 of reading comprehension. Number 1, ability to identify main idea and key detail. What does that mean? Students, okay, so in this context, I'm not going to, well, not context, but in this example, I'm not going to say students. This is what grown folks need to do. So grown folks need to be able to recognize the big picture in a passage. They got to target the skill by asking the simple question: what did the author write this passage? Why did the author write this passage? Okay, so when you're reading the Bible, right, because they get something out of this book that's not intended by the author. Why did the author write this passage? Why should we care? Did the author give us any details to further explain what they are talking about? Students who struggle to identify the big picture may struggle with this concept, you see? So we can't go further in a debate if your opponent cannot recognize the big picture in the passage. That's what's happening. How are we reading? When people ask, how y'all reading the same book but coming up with different ideologies and different interpretations? It's because people has failed to recognize the big picture in the passage. How do I support struggling students? You can work through categories so that this is the how to help these guys out. They want to help. But number 2, ability to sequence a passage into an ordinal series. These grown nuts, religious nuts, need to these cult members. These cult members must be able to recognize first, then last, or beginning, middle, end, and put those events into a sequence. As they get older, it is important that they begin annotating each sentence or paragraph by providing a 2-3 word summary. This will help support the identification of the main idea and key details. How do you help struggling cult members? You can't. Number 3, ability to answer direct recall questions. Very, very important to do. Now, these are all the fundamental skills you're supposed to have as an adult when you're reading literature, comparing literature, and then debating. We need the cult members. You got to teach them how, well, they should know how to key into the specific information they need to hold on to. Think about those key W questions, specifically who, what, when, and where. These will often be the key pieces of information that students should be able to answer when they finish reading the Bible, in this case. Ability to make inferences and or predictions, okay? So the tippy top, recognize the big picture. You got to be able to recognize first, then last, or beginning, middle, end, and put these events into a sequence. And you see the brothers yesterday could not do that with the woman of Samaria. They were lying to me, intentionally lying to me, trying to indoctrinate me, trying to bully me for me to believe that Samaritan woman was an Israelite. And I toyed with them for a little while, and unfortunately we'll never see that again unless LJ have a copy of it, unless he have a copy recorded while I was recording. I hope he did, or that discussion is gone forever. But they were trying to bully me into believing them. So when I was able to sequence a passage into a ordinal series, I said, wait. So I toyed with them. I even went to a whole different book dealing with the Canaanite woman. So that all that to come back to 2 Kings chapter 17 to prove that those people in that land were not Israelites. All the Israelites were removed, and they were totally quiet. And they only really argued, LJ, with the interpretation of the husbands. Okay, so the W's. And then number 5, identify unfamiliar vocabulary. Okay, and like this seems like nothing, but this is serious. We're talking about Black people, like in America, we are highly uneducated. Like we will all admit that. Like the school systems have failed us. So identify unfamiliar vocabulary. Okay, so this is kind of cheating as we jump back to one of the other core components of literacy, but it's so critical that we need to include it as part of our Big 5 comprehension. If students don't recognize vocabulary that is unfamiliar, they can lose so much of the meaning of a passage. Sometimes they don't even realize how much of the overall message. Now you see that with the when we do Jacob begot Jesus. No, Jacob begot Joseph. Joseph, the husband of Mary. Mary of whom was born Jesus, who was called the Christ. That right there, I don't know how we get lost reading that. Okay, so it says sometimes they don't even realize how much of the overall message they have lost by simply not understanding specific words. It's critical that students can begin to self-monitor their understanding of specific words within a passage. How do we support struggling cult members? You can't. Okay, so that's just a few of them. I like the one I read yesterday a little better. But with that being said, let's get into these guys who are going to ignore all those fundamentals.
For everybody. This is after he died. After he died, shouldn't they know, maybe Christ died for everybody? No, because that's not what happened. They knew that Christ died for the people of Israel. Give me John 50. No, give me John 11 and 50. Why? No, don't run away, bro. We're reading out. I'm not reading out the Bible. We just read after Christ died, got buried, and resurrected. This is Acts, bro. This is Acts. This is what happens. No, this is what happens when your oppressor's doctrine gets challenged. Because you subconsciously love the white man's doctrine. Let's read it again. Let's read it again. Hold on. No, you explain it. Hermano, you explain it, please. What you gotta, we're talking about the word of God.
Jesus died for everybody.
Show me in the Bible right now.
No,
Show me in the Bible right now. Show me in the Bible. Don't say what. Show me. Prove it. Yes, you do. You don't have time for God? So show me in the Bible. Save me. Save me. You said this is the perfect time. This is the perfect time to save me from my delusion. Go ahead. Show me in the Bible. Show me in the Bible. This how niggas is weak, bro. This is why you can't look up to no Black and Hispanic niggas nowadays. You gotta. No, this is what's wrong when you have the white man's doctrine in your mind. We always want to save the white man. Why? What has white people done for Black and Hispanic people? Somebody tell me, please. Somebody tell me, please. Anybody. What has Christianity, Catholicism, Islam, Buddhism done for Black and Hispanic communities? But rape, rob, pillage, and steal everything that they got.
It's the book of Luke chapter 1 and verse 68. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel. For he had visited and redeemed his people, and hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of David. And he spake by the mouth of his holy prophet, which has been since the world began.
So Tone G said, if your premise has a logical fallacy in it, then your conclusion will be fallacious. Also, to understand that the logical fallacy will help. Yeah, exactly. Yep, that would definitely help. They assume their position is true first, then they read the Bible in a way to fit it in their position. They're essentially shooting the area into the tree and then drawing the target. Right? Yeah. And check this out. Now, I didn't. Where the hell is that going? I didn't even click anything. Okay. All right. MacBook acting really weird, freezing up. Now we're just frozen right now. Hilarious. Oh, yeah. So I can't stop to share. I can't stop sharing. Really, come on, damn screen just froze. Come on, support. So I'm gonna just stay frozen until when? So I'm supposed to stay frozen. iCloud. All right. So let me see if I can do this. Ridiculous. Well, why does it do that? So now I'm just stuck in limbo. Can't even touch it. Can't even use anything. All right. Okay. It finally got me out of it. It goes into this Mac can't connect to iCloud. Who was trying to connect to iCloud? All right, so now it's gonna do this little virus shit. I got a little virus. All right. So it's just gonna make me stuck. So now I'm just stuck in limbo land. On here, man. All right, so I'm just stuck. Limbo land. We have to control alt delete on the Mac. It's fucking ridiculous, man. What the fuck is that?